Welcome to another Chess24 Banter Blitz. It's approaching 11:30 UK time. Okay, before we get into the main games, I just want to draw your attention to the 15% off voucher code Kingscrusher. So that's Kings plural Crusher. If you go to chess24.com/premium, you can get to play even Magnus Carlsen. You just turn up 20 to 30 minutes before the challenge area for Magnus or other grandmasters, international masters, celebrities, and even bunnies like me. You just turn up a bit earlier and it goes onto our challenge list, and we can pick off the challenges one by one. So I'm going to go to the challenge list page now. So let's have a look at the challenges today. And mute over there. Let me know if audio visual is okay on the chat, please. Okay, I hope it's okay. So challenges, first is Chad today. Chad, hi. Okay, I'll play, I think, the English opening to start off with today. So knight c6. Okay, so g3 here, just to control that d5 square. That looks a bit odd. Knight e7 here. I'm being tangoed. One of the downsides of this knight g6 is that you can undermine a bit the g6 knight. This does compromise a bit the g5 square. This move h5. But I guess here, you know, I'm not in a great position to exploit the g6 knight, but I can at least put a knight on g5. This might not be that dangerous for black right now. Okay, let's try and immerse in the story of this game. So, what is black doing? If I clamp down with e4 as an example, just to try and clamp down on d5. Although I know I'm creating some weaknesses here. g4 is a bit weak as well. It's not all one-sided. So, if I cover that for a moment, g4. Okay, so f4 here looks at h5 and reinforces g5. Right, if I took here, that's interesting. So fg, hg. Fg, hg, or queen takes g6, which one? I wonder. Maybe like this looks interesting to open up the h file. So knight takes, well, I've got a choice of knights there to take. So knight takes, queen takes g6. Alright, there's f5 here at least. I'm just wondering, you know, queen takes this rook h8. But this one looks interesting, f5. Okay, if I take here and take here, right, so this is looking good. Knight d5 and stuff. Maybe bishop e3, b4, b5. Stop the king from running away. If I played queen takes g7, I'll play queen takes g7. Okay, so on bishop d8, I think there's queen c7 to finish the game off quite quickly. Bishop takes, rook takes is looking like it's checkmate there. Unless I've totally miscalculated. And that's a checkmate. Okay, thanks for the game, Chad. Patrick. Oh, what's happened to the challenge there? Reload? Did I press accept? Alright, here we go. Patrick, hi there. Right. I'll play knight f6 here. And knight c6. So the queen's knight tango with, yeah, knight f6 as a prelude. So knight c3 might not be the most critical, in my opinion, because it lets me play that e5. I shouldn't really say, but look, I've been researching this recently. Knight f3, yeah, is a bit of a pain. But anyway, okay, there you go. Okay, yeah, bishop c5 or bishop b4. Okay, I can probably do this. It is an interesting thing, blocking in the bishop. Is it a bit passive, though, this position? Okay. So b4, bishop a7. And if I had like rook e8, okay, say the bishop's going over here, is there knight g4 to f, taking f2 out? Is that actually on the cards? If I played it here, is it actually on the cards? I mean, maybe, maybe knight f2, bishop e3 is dangerous. I'll go for it. Because the bishop has left this e3. I suppose, queen e3, queen f1. Oh, okay, that's very interesting. There's potential for double checks. Hold on a sec. Yeah, no, okay. There's potential for double check here. So knight taking h3, double check, or yeah, I suppose bishop c1, knight h3. Is my pieces they're a bit loose, I suppose. Well, I could just this is anything stronger. I think I'll just play this check and probably just take on e1. Okay, and I should really develop some pieces here. To connect the rooks. Hello. So rook e8 and queen f2. Look, that looks interesting. Rook e8 and queen f2. Oh, I think I just take that. This is sack on f2 brings back some memories, actually, nostalgic memories. In my quest when I was getting a high, going to not high, I was winning some tournaments when I was below 150 ECF. I remember going to Halifax, and in the last round, I was already on 5 out of 5. I was pretty cruel as a junior, actually. My opponent just needed a draw to be in the prizes, but I sort of wiped him out with a knight f2 sacrifice, and he was really pissed off with me. I got 6 out of 6 though, It was nice to get 100%. I wasn't very generous. I didn't really think about things like that at the time, like prize implications. But it was nice to get 6 out of 6. But it was with a knight f2, because I'd looked at this Fischer game, which had that knight f2 crunching kind of sack. Knight f2. Anyway, so shelling forward. Okay. So I'm going to play knight f6, not knight c6, knight f6. I have to go. I'm going to go for. I don't want to go for a light square strategy. Let's go for a c5. It's only a 3-minute game. I see it's only a 3-minute game. Okay. So rook b8 b5 coming up. I'll do this anyway. I've had some blitz games against Webster once. I played this with some success. He was an IM later. But I had some games with this rook b6. AB rook b6. It's interesting, white splitting up the pawns. But there's a bit of piece activity here. Okay, so maybe knight d4 is interesting, or even knight b6. Just swap that off. I think if that swaps off, maybe the weakness is more evident sometimes, or the piece play is more evident. So let's see, bishop d7 or e5. e5 is a bit of a closure of that bishop. I think I want to keep that bishop on the board actually. Okay. So I can hit d5. Oh, hang on, my rook. That's a bit violent, isn't it? Let's stop b4 from white for a moment. Right. All right. Is that too dangerous to allow that to be swapped off? Maybe that was really silly, actually. There's queen h6 and knight g5. Yeah, I think I might have given my opponent a good attack. Can I pin that? All right, knight f6. Okay, it's not quite crushing. Oh, it is there. What am I doing? Okay. So this is a pain, isn't it? Losing another pawn over here. Why didn't I consider taking on d5? Okay, interesting. Bishop f7. I'm losing a lot of pawns here. Uh-oh. This looks quite bad news. Yeah, I really doubt I'm going to blockade anything here. But see. Yeah. think this is gone now. Well played, yeah. I think very strong player. Very strong, very good. And he keeps that big plus score. Okay, well played. So, Blunder Panda. Okay, Blunder Panda. Let's play knight c6 here. I'm a bit weakened on the dark squares, aren't I? So, can I get play h6 and rook b8? Alright, so this incoming f5 is interesting. Alright. Maybe bishop e6 just in time here. Trying to parry this f5 business. Alright, if I take and queen d7 now. Alright, if I can play f5 myself, this might be okay, I suppose. If I can play f5. Yes, f5 and f5. No, I don't know. Okay. Okay. No, I'm confused. Okay, I'm going to give up c6. I think he wants to win c6. I'll give him c6. It's a double pawn, yeah. It's a trigger to win c6, but there might be some dark square compensation. But then I lose d5 as well. I'm not sure it's that clever, actually, what I'm doing. It's not that clever. Unless there's another idea in the possession. Alright, okay. I feel that's a bit of a let off. I mean, he could have tested the whole thing with taking and then taking. Alright, is there knight c5 coming up? Alright, so d5 here. Is knight c5 going to be dangerous? Would I get some compensation? Knight d6 to e4. Alright, so there's some weaknesses maybe to target here with maybe knight e4 coming up. There's also bishop b2. I think knight e4 is interesting. I'm getting a sort of central pressure, I think. So knight e4, rook e4, potentially doubling the rooks on the e file. So I think there's a central contest going on. So knight takes, rook takes. I want to try and double the rooks. I think. Or just take on, let me take on b2. That pedantic. Was my bishop being trapped? I'll take on b2. Okay, let's check this. I think d takes, not to allow c3. If knight e4, rook e4, c3, and I'm wondering about my bishop, but if I take with tempo, that is like a pass pawn as well, then wouldn't that be good? Take, wouldn't that be good? I'm not sure about the bishop after knight e4, rook e4, c3. It's kind of looks trapped. Okay, so g5 here. Oh, all right. That's interesting. I have an idea I should take this knight off. I think it's reasonable compensation for the exchange because of the knight. If I put the bishop back on f6, I think my king's okay for a moment. Okay, I can take on g4. Okay, undermining. Let's go back. I want queen c6 to be available as the option anyway. So there's 2 pawns for the exchange. It's an outside pawn here. That's interesting. d4 is also immediately like tempting. Let's see if I just push this for a moment. The queen has to hang around c2. Alright, this gives rise to the idea of g4 sometimes. Okay, so if I played for bishop b2 though, what if you just took that? Okay, there's queen takes c2. Alright, let's just go back for a moment. I'm being a chicken, not bishop d4. No, because there's queen e7, I got to keep my bishop around. There's still the possibility of queen g4. And so I can play knight g3 for bishop d4. This looks very good. Or does it? Hold on a sec. Hold on. Am I in trouble? Alright, let's not give the second rank up. Oh. There's no time there. There's no time there. Alright, yeah, it's just I think they could have won the c6 pawn at some point. I was taking that was a gamble, I think. Yeah, I'm taking a gamble. Alright, Tisha. Hi, Taja. Okay. I've got something for this. Oh, not really. No, I've got a G3 idea. I've seen this before. A G3 idea, just to try and just get a basic tempo gain. So this is pretty trendy stuff, isn't it? But I think I just want to play D4 and Bishop f4. Yeah, if he takes, take with the knight. Okay, blunt the bishop here. Okay, I'm going to blunt the bishop because I think d4 is a bit of a target. Can I do this? Maybe f4. Is that too much fun? f4. Bishop e3 and queen d2 and castle queenside. He's always got e6 here, so you know that e6. Right, so if I castle queenside, oh, well, there's f5. I think I'm going to trap that bishop with f5 here without that e6 pawn. My king's in the center. D4, bishop f4. He hasn't immediately got a check though. Okay, there's no queen g3 check, so ed f5. So okay, ed f5. This looks like ed f5. Yeah, this bishop seems a liability here. If d4, bishop f4, I think. Okay, so here we have bishop f4, tempo gainer. I have to be aware of this knight a little bit. I suppose there's always bishop f3 if needed. So queen e7, fg. Well, I suppose you're going to recapture then, I castle queenside. Queen e6, king b1, knight b4, b3. There might be some issues castling queenside. Might be better to castle kingside. If I just castle kingside, actually. So yeah, it looks as though. Okay, what does it look like here? c3, is that? Bit poxy actually. He displays bishop a5, and why do I need this hassle? So queen f2, I think. Okay, so knight. Okay, g5 is an issue potentially. If his bishop's around, okay, here, then it doesn't matter. Okay, go here, knight e4. I think there's a plan here: b4, knight c5, queen f3, knight a6. So perch the knight on c5, queen f3, and then knight a6. So I'm just amplifying the diagonal, I think, with that plan. b4, knight c5, queen f3, knight a6. Is that right? Knight c5. That looks like a good plan. Knight c5. Queen f3 coming up. So c6, a4 for b5. Okay, so queen f3. So A4 for B5. This looks too dangerous here. This A file. There's also Queen G3. Looks like, yeah, this king looks dodgy. Just here. Okay, keep away Queen E3, I suppose. Yeah, it's too much. Too much. All right, thanks, Tasha. Is that F5 thing? Don't. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm gonna bought. Okay, all the time. Oh, let's not have increment, please. No increment, please. Yon 606. So knight F6. I've been checking this out in the last few days. That's a cool move, knight F3. But the topical move is A3. So this goes, it lets one use some Nimzo-Indian knowledge. Bishop B4 now. Okay, so I can play a dark square strategy, which apparently, according to Paul Georgie, might be the Milner-Barry variation of the Nimzo-Indian. So the dark square strategy with D6 and E5, believe it or not, is the light square strategy. I know it's shocking, it's outrageous and shocking, but I think it is possible. Okay, so I could wait for the last possible moment for the double pawns, because I'm not sure Bishop D2 is a good idea. On the other hand, it could cause regret if he does play Bishop D2. Okay, all right, this is interesting now. Okay, maybe I should have doubled the pawns. That's a bit controversial, isn't it? It's funny, the bishop's being maintained here now. So you don't normally play the Nimzo-Indian with a dark square strategy. So, but it has been actually recommended by also Chess Explained in his book on the Nimzo. He's mentioned the dark square strategy. It's interesting. You can do that. If you can. There's basic traps to avoid, like Queen A4 winning the bishop. Sometimes, if you can avoid the basic traps, it's an interesting idea to play for dark square play here. So if you think about it, I'm kind of reverting the square strategy on two Nimzovich systems. So if E4 knight C6 is not for D5 but for E5 later, I'm also converting a light square system into a dark square system. But also the Nimzo-Indian is primarily a light square system turning into a dark square system as well. I probably should have doubled the pawns though. I'm having a bit of a regret now. Could I have just doubled the pawns? Or just ED there. Maybe ED and bishop c3. It's like winning a piece nearly on e2. But there's a backfire. My king, you know, potentially my king for rook e1. The back row might be weak. On the other hand, the knight's on e8. Maybe that's even possible. Was my queen trapped? Right. Okay, so yes, that causes some pain, doesn't it? That move. That does cause pain. Maybe queen d8. No. I should just take here and then put the bishop, and then wins material. No, bishop b2, bishop d2 takes. I play bishop b4, shielding b7. Hold on a sec. That's actually, that might be possible. That might be the best thing to do. So d takes bishop b4. So, okay, I'm hoping this doesn't lose material. So I've got that dark square bishop without the counterpart now. I think it would have been a simpler game just to have doubled pawns earlier, though. b6, I haven't really got that many targets on the queen side if I play b6. Maybe I should just play b6. It looks as though it's kind of solid on the queen side. So bishop e6, f6. Okay, so bishop c4. Now he's gonna like go to d7 soon. If I'm not careful, I think there is a perk of that pawn for rook d7. Okay, that's danger. Unless I play like bishop d6, I'll play bishop d6. Getting into other sorts of issues. Trying to cover against rook d7. Okay, e4, knight d4, queen e5, g3. He's going to have knight b5 later. It's not that wonderful, but I'm going to do this like maybe tactically. There's something going on at some point. G8, h6. Right, so e4, knight d4, queen e5 is mostly harmless, and he'll have knight b5 coming up. So the c6 pawn is actually rather interesting. Let's just do this for a moment. Maybe, play e4 here. All right, so yeah, I'm asking for knight d4 to b5 essentially. I'm asking for trouble. I am, aren't I? It actually stops even queen e5 now. Alright, queen e6 threatens bishop h2 is a bit of a cheap move. But I'm going to play it. No, actually, it doesn't even threaten anything. The rook's adequately supported. What am I going on about? So f5, f5. Am I running into tactics? My queen is protected. What's that about? I think I just take on c4 here, because I'm taking on c6 later. Huh? Alright, time pressure in that, probably. Okay, so, oops. Maybe e4 is a fun move sometimes. Okay, yeah, knight f3. Try classic bishop b5. I'll go here on c2 to try and wait for knight a5, pulling that knight away from the central squares. Might be a little finesse. Yeah, I don't know. It's maybe I should take the raf of. Yeah, okay, I'll take the raf of the f-file for fun. Okay, there's clearly an f-file dynamic, but sometimes I think this is okay for white. Sometimes I think Caruana beat Aronian and some others in this line at some point. So knight b3. Right, those weaknesses are being volunteered on the light squares. There's quite a few light square weaknesses lurking around. Right. Play d takes. Is this too passive for the f-file for a blitz game? It's too passive, maybe. This queen g6 is going to be a pain. If I put my knight to g3 now instead, reroute the knight. Because I don't think the knight's actually got a prospect there on b3. If it's on g3, I think that looks better for king safety. Knight f1, knight g3. I don't think queen b3 does anything significant. But knight f1 to g3, bishop e3, any knight e4 is queen d5. Alright, can I do this? I want to try and play bishop e3 or knight e3. Am I getting in trouble? Okay, I'm hoping there's a bishop e3 coming up. Any knight e4, there's queen d5. So I'm hoping to parry with. Alright, so bishop e3. It looks a bit defensive, really, doesn't it? Oh, blockading d3 square. Taking out the pressure here. Maybe rook c1 is interesting. Rook c8, queen b3. This F-file's a little bit dangerous. Knight, not knight G4 yet. Queen G4. Knight G3. Okay. Maybe Queen D3. As Knight G4 is going to be a pain. Queen E2 looks passive. I think it has to be Queen E2 to keep guard of G4. This looks like a passive position actually. Knight G3 coming up. And it's on A2 as well. Let's hold that. I hope I can play this. Oh, crikey. It's good my knight's covering E3. So knight G3 to F5. That might have been a waste of time. Knight F5. Okay, he's creating some weaknesses. Queen D2 hitting H6. I probably want a blockading knight on D3 somehow. What about Queen A5? I've just realised Queen A5 is interesting with some invasive ideas. Rook C7. Queen D8. Can I go there? Alright, so if Rook D7, Rook C7, I don't know, does this have a point though? He has got this passed pawn. I don't know if this has a real point to it or not. Probably not. Just testing. Okay, just testing. Okay, I'm going to have to be blockading soon. Oh, this is not good. Okay, he's committed that pawn at least. That resolves some questions, maybe. G3 for King G2. Knight E3. Okay, let's lock down. Knight E3, Knight F5, Queen G5. Knight E3. Was right. I think G4 for Knight G4 gives Queen H6. Okay, but there's Knight F5 coming up. Alright, say he plays G takes, there's Knight F5. Knight takes Rook G1 threatens Knight F5. Alright, there's a little bit of danger for his king. Knight G4. Oh, there's Knight F6 on Knight F4. So Knight F4 to stop Queen H6, there's Knight F6. Right, so Queen H6 here, there's Queen G6. Yeah. Yeah. I always thought that's a really dangerous line to play bishop takes e6 that I'd never really play. I thought, okay, I'll see what happens. It looks like really dangerous pressure. But I'm pretty sure Caruana's beaten some like Aronian in that line once, and someone else. There was something to do with the e5 being sometimes weak. I think he did it. I think I covered one of the games on my channel. There's like an exchange sack or something on c6. He made e5 weaker. So anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's go on to Fried by Friedel today. Hang on, white pieces. Let's see what happens with d4. Right, I have played this pet line before. So the idea is to get a tempo with knight c4 later. So knight f to d2 to c4, then a4. This is the idea. Maybe knight a5 here for knight c6. Alright, it's interesting this position because I'm wondering like f4, bishop f3, or do I hold that knight? It's going to be harassed, or do I wait? Interesting. If I can play bishop f3 and e5, I would emphasize c6 as a square. This could be a bit reckless, but okay, let's say I played knight c6. Okay, and he's on e4. Maybe it's a bit reckless. Right, so knight c4. I've just got a weakened position now with this f4. I probably have, haven't I? Maybe e5 for queen e1. That gives rise to well, if I just take that and bishop g5, it's nice to have the bishops and past a pawn and d6, which opens up the bishop, and a6 and bishop b7. I think d6 is interesting. Okay, create some light square weaknesses. If g5. Okay, so if I play b3 here for a moment. Okay. Maybe queen e2, this pawn's interesting, as a distraction perhaps. If I can protect it as well, even better. Maybe queen e2, rook a4, that sort of thing. Oh, okay, there's d6 here. And a7, I'm going to be sort of widding with some material with a8 as a threat. Am I? Oh, okay, that stops all of that, does that? Okay, there's bishop b7 though. So if rook b8, a7, if rook takes b7, a8, winning an exchange. So, in other words, I think a7 wins an exchange. Oh, I'm losing the exchange over there, though. Okay, that's a different picture on things. Oh, this is... I haven't given him a check or anything, have I? Alright, just put this back, put it back. Right. Okay. No, this has just ruined everything. Okay, this is totally different to what I imagined. So a7, though, or queen f6. Queen f6 kind of ties down the knight to f7, does it? Oh, there's bishop e5, that's the point, isn't it? Knight f5, bishop e5 is a much better point than what I was trying to make with this pawn. Because he's given up the dark square bishop, it's an emerging plan. He's creating new downsides here. So bishop e5. Looks like a killer. Bishop e5 looks like a killer. This is a good distraction, you know, a7. Thanks for the props. But I'm trying to make the king, okay? Thanks. If I need to talk about a7, yeah, it's handy, yeah. a7. Alright, thanks, yeah, okay. And I think these dark squares are too weak. Okay. Alright, thanks, yeah, that was interesting. Prom light. I've got something here, which is Miles's check. Yes. Instead of bishop c5, check. And then bishop c5. I know it's a revolution. It's a revolution. Whilst threatening, knight takes c6 there. See, look. The c3 pawn is blocking knight c3 to d5. That's a key point. I believe that's the key point. Okay, what have I done here? Well, I messed up. I'm going e5. I messed up. Oh, Gordon Bennett. What have I done? I'm going to have to give him the benefit of the doubt here. At least I get the f5 square. I know this looks terrible, but I could get the f5 square. So he hasn't got a dark square bishop to crush my knight. So I'm hoping, I'm hoping to create some dark square weaknesses as well as light square weaknesses. Okay, any tactics on the horizon? Have I castle and that should be okay, I hope. D5 would have been possible if I'd thought of it in time. Bishop b7 for c5. He's always got bishop d5. Knight e4, queen e5. King h8, f6 plan. In fact, you know, Queen D8 for later. No, I don't know. Okay. What about just unpinning for a moment? Is he getting a whopping attack? If I prepare like F6, he's going to win C7 later, or I win F2. Is that F6? My back row's weak as well. So I'm still behind in a lot of development. Yes, knight G5. Has he got knight G5? Is he going to just push me back here with knight G5? Or is there D5? ED, take. He's always got bishop F1 after that. There's bishop A6 after that, maybe. Maybe D5 is indeed possible. Knight G5, D5, ED, Queen E1, Rook E1, Rook E1, Bishop F1, Bishop A6. Maybe he's got C4 there. Well, that's before committing to my own execution, should check this out. Take, bishop D3, F6. So that scenario I might be able to defend. This scenario takes Queen E1, Rook E1. We've got a variation where plays G3, Rook F1. That form pawn looks a killer. After knight G8, Queen G5, just winning. Why don't I just avoid the madness for a moment? Or has he got a winning move here? Queen E4. He's going to prompt G6. You know what? Alright, I've got D5 here, haven't I? So ED Queen F6. Knight G8 is gonna. Crikey, this doesn't look good. I'll try this. Giving up H7, it's desperate times. I think I want to play Queen. Oh, there is no Queen G4. There's Rook H3. Is he just going to crush my king here? I don't like this. Hang on. Nope. No, doesn't look good. Knight G5, Queen G4, stag, Knight F7, Knight F7, Queen F7, Bishop E6. It's not very entertaining. On the other hand, is that something? I need to go for here because otherwise he's got a crushing position anyway. No, this doesn't look very good. Okay, at least there's no rook h3. I was thinking there's a rook h3. There might not be a rook h3 on the bright side. It's all because I allowed e5. I could have put the brakes on e5 earlier. That's interesting. That's interesting. It's trying to break the position. Trying to find a force mate. Or something. Is there bishop e6 here? Just to stop e6. Don't really know what's particularly constructive here. Okay, maybe no, I don't know. Queen c5, nope. Anything, rook a8, I'm not convinced whatever is constructive here. b5, rook a4, maybe that, to try and pin against f4, f5. Is there something there in that? Rook a4. Trying to cut his plans. Yeah. Oh. It's just terrible. Well played. Well played. Oh. Can I just check? Just. I wonder if I needed to avoid. What does the engine say about allowing e5? There's a snag here which I'm missing, which is positional pawn sack. Can white really afford this? With the king in the centre. Rook a5. This is something to make note of for another time. I assume bishop a6 there's c4 or b4. Okay, let's go with this castling. I think it's this without the counterpart. It's a positional pawn sack there, which exists. Just, I think knight d5 altogether safer. So this is just being pushed back. I'm just being pushed back here. Well, there was a d5 there, which looks. Oh yeah, because of the. Yeah, that was a chance to play d5. Can you try all the time? Crikey. Black Medina. against the Scandinavian. Scandinavian move order. This is wrong. This is just wrong. Am I just messing up here? Oh, maybe I'll take here. Oh, I just got nothing. Oh, I've just got nothing here. Why did I play this? This is my next question. Why did I play this? It's just like gambling. If black doesn't accept the gambit and does something accurate, there's just nothing on the plate here, is there? Although I'm not sure it was perfectly accurate. Although, okay, f4 might be better bet than bishop f4 knight c6. Although I'm weakening my dark squares now. Have I got h3 coming up? Oh dear. Okay. H3 for bishop e3 later. I've got f2 covered. Am I being allowed out here to play with bishop e3? A semi-decent position. I try to be exciting. Somehow I think black could have done a lot better than this because there's a bad knight here. This looks like I might have something going for the position now. Bishop b3 to let the light square bishop take off, and then knight d5. It looks as though that's an interesting position. Yeah, knight d5 looks at c7. Alright, f5 looks interesting here. Is he going back to c6 after? Maybe. Well, if I just hit, you know, e4. Does he hit f4 in return? Okay. Oh, is that f5, g5? That wins the knight, g5. So f5 kind of strands the knight. This looks good with f5. Yes, I've had worse. Yes, this looks like nice. Okay, I can take one c7. Knight b5 to d6. Oh, actually there's rook d7. Rook d7. Right, so rook d7 here, it's difficult to evict the rook, isn't it? Knight d5, knight takes, rook f7 is checkmate there. So knight d5 looks like a strong move. Yeah, if I bring my king, okay, maybe not. Okay, let's just see what he's doing. Or not. Just bring the king up. Bring the king up. I think c4, king e3, because it's going to be check knight d5 if I go to e3. Or is he... I don't know if he's in zugzwang or something. Some sort of zugzwang. So do I need this plan of king e3? I'm just thinking, you know, c4, king e3, I try and win this pawn, but... Okay, that strengthens the position. Yeah, I mean, this is a basic idea, just to win e4. Okay, but I still control e7 there. Okay, I can take on f6 here to protect g4. Okay, e7 is queening with check. Yeah, that was... I think... let's have a quick look at the opening. This... I attempted a gambit, spectacularly fell flat on my face there. E5, what am I supposed to do? It's not good after e5. It's really bad after d5, I do know that. So I was trying to do something exotic. Oh, apparently d takes might actually be the way to play it. Alright, what I played might actually be the way to play it, given the circumstance. But the thing to bear in mind if you do play this BDG is not to play d5, because this is like horrific. You can lose very quickly here after d5, I think. It's just a way of weakening all the dark squares. You can lose very quickly. There's no gambit at all there. So as far as heading to some sort of dynamic territory, maybe d takes. Okay, bishop c4 first is weird. Yeah, okay. There are videos on YouTube about that. Mr. Neidorf. I'll play Smith-Morrow Gambit if it's a Sicilian. One, two, three, four, five. I think I'm gonna have to abort. Go through the queue. One. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ball. A 3-minute game. Okay, we've got a game. So there's a lot of good things going on here, I think. I can play it this way, like in the Merovingian, because I think there's a snag on my analysis of b6 and bishop c5, where I can always slip in d6. Here, can I not just take this pawn? d6 turns out to be quite a disruptive move in some of the variations. Okay. Is there like knight f4 here because the king's still in the centre? So knight f4. So am I threatening? Okay, so knight d3 and e4, or knight d3 and then maybe just block things up here. I don't want h6 particularly thrown at me. Okay, just block things up. Stop g4. a6, bishop d7, c5. That looks like a plan to me, just to try and kick this great knight right now on d4. a6, bishop d7, c5. Try and challenge this knight. Don't think that threatens too much. G3 stuff. Okay, so c5, dc. All right, c5 here. Yeah. There's a tactical queen h4, nothing to do with any major plan. I'm just wondering queen h4 is intriguing as well. So queen e7 for a moment. This e3 is more thematic. I've got this pass pawn in the centre. Alright, I can build up on the structure over here, surely. Rook c4, queen f7. Or just double the rooks. I think queen f7 is just queen f7 just looks good. Or in fact, okay, I'm going to ignore that. It's my queen. Right, just b4, queen f7. There's queen over here. Yeah, that looks dangerous. Okay, thanks. Okay, e4, I think. One, two, three. Oh, you got a game. Okay, some more. So if I put the rooks on d1 and c1 and then see what happens. Rooks on d1 and c1. Why am I tempted for g3, h4, knight g5? I'm tempted for that. Let's just leave the bishop to have a2 for a moment. One sec. He's got a nice control over the e5 square. So I get really punished if I play g3, h4 with some sort of e5 plan. Oh, I'm kind of tempted because it might offer h6 form pawn territory with tempo. Yes, nice control of e5. Well, you know, king g2, you know, rook h1, queen d2, bishop h6, g takes, queen takes, knight g5 could be dangerous. That uses the g2 square, that plan. So rook h1, queen d2. He's always going to have bishop f8. What if I use the other rook, rook d2, rook ch1? Then I use d2 up, and there's no queen d2. That's interesting. So queen d2, bishop f8 is pretty solid, I think. It's pretty solid. I'll do this anyway. I'll try and see. Does this bishop really go back to f8? Does the bishop go back to f8? Not necessarily. Okay, I'm just going to give him a knight. Get this h file. Maybe I can double the rooks. It's intuitive. Let's double the rooks. Rook h5, double the rooks. It means I can play f4. He's got knight c4, bishop c4. Double or treble on the h file. Oh, it's ignoring that. Okay, okay. Maybe there's a possibility of e5 coming up. So queen d3 and e5 or something. Or is this diagonal dangerous? I'm going to take on c4. Go back. HG, bishop c3, EF looks more dynamic than. Or knight d4. What about knight d4? Just trying to shield against bishop c3. I'm going to take that guy out because that's a lot of pressure on the 9 squares. We'll just play queen d5 here. Hope for the best. Knight e7 threatened. Yeah, okay, some tactics there. Okay, it's only a minute to 1 o'clock. Thanks for the games, guys. I think I should just mention this premium membership, and there's lots of video courses to also check out if you become premium. Tons of video content by top grandmasters. So that's pretty unique perk as well. So there's a voucher code here, Kingscrusher. If you go to chess24com/premium, check that out. Okay, yeah, I'll go back to that view. Okay, thanks for the games. See you next week. Thanks very much.